Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make tiny improvements to your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon.
Hello and welcome to this episode. All right, today is going to be off the cuff and brief because I had an episode recorded, but then something really interesting happened yesterday that I wanted to touch on. It was a good reminder that I wanted to bring up. So if you didn't notice, Instagram and Facebook were down almost all day yesterday. I think it was, I don't know if it was worldwide, but it was definitely like everywhere in the United States. Both of those were down all day. So if you are running your business completely on Instagram or Facebook through DMs or Messenger, I hope that yesterday was a wake-up call, that you need some other things in place to actually ensure that your business is going to be okay if those platforms go down, or the more likely situation that maybe you're hacked or kicked out of your account for a couple days or a couple weeks or sometimes forever. I've seen people lose their Instagram profiles and just like never be able to get back in because they were hacked. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but I know there are so many people that are running their entire business through social media platforms. So this episode is going to be a reminder of why you don't want to do that, and also a couple things that you can put in place as kind of like a safety net, and also to just frankly streamline your business to make things a bit easier. As my friend Lily texted me, she said yesterday was a good reminder of why not to put all of your eggs in one basket. I know there are a lot of people, not just in the balloon world, but like makers of all sorts who do most of their sales on Instagram. And yesterday they didn't make any money. So like that is a really scary thing to have to realize, that like, oh my gosh, I am depending completely on this platform that owes me nothing. Like I can't call them. They don't have an IT department. I can't do anything if this suddenly goes away. So the first thing that you need to have in place is a website. My mind exploded yesterday. I saw on one of the Facebook groups that I'm in, someone was asking whether or not having a website is worth it. And I was just like, I'm sorry, is this 1992? I can't even believe this comment is on here, but there are still people that do not have websites. And for a long time, I was like, I don't understand. Are you like in the phone book? Like, how do you have a business without a website? But I'm realizing the more realistic scenario is that people have what function as websites, but it's really just like a social media platform. So you're visible on the internet, people can find you, but you're putting all of your trust in Facebook and Instagram to make that happen. So my first recommendation is consider having a website. I have a course, it's called The Weekend Launch, and it walks you through how to build your own Wix website. That's what I do. I build my own. I manage it myself. It is not for the tech illiterate. So if you like don't know how to turn on a computer, it's not for you. But if you're pretty savvy, you can absolutely build your own website. And I still can't believe how many people are running very large, very good balloon businesses completely through Instagram without any website. So if that is you, you can absolutely have a website by the end of this coming weekend. So I will link that course in the show notes if you're interested. The other thing I want to note is that after the new year, so January 1st, I'm going to take that course down forever. So this is your last chance to learn from that course. I've had tons of awesome feedback. Dozens of people have built websites and given me awesome feedback, but I have found that I then kind of become like tech support a little bit. And I don't mind doing that because people just will naturally come to me with their questions, but like then they'll come to me with questions just forever, just because I'm the person that helped them set up that website. So that's just not like a very sustainable or scalable model. So I am going to take that course down. Again, it is available through the end of the year. If you want to sign up, it's not expensive at all. You can have a website for under $200 again by the end of this weekend. That's why I called it the weekend launch. But I am going to stop offering that and focus my energy on other courses and new exciting stuff that I will have information on soon. So that is my shameless plug. If you need a website, I can help you out, but you can also hire people to do this for you. You can build it yourself using other platforms. The bottom line is you have to have a website for your business. The second thing that I think this big, outage was a good reminder of is that you need a way for people to contact you, and you need to be able to contact them that is off of social media. So I have a lot of kind of like little mini tips in this category. The first is I love 17 hats. You hear me talk about it all the time. My previous episode before this last one was all about 17 hats. That's the CRM that I use. And I get people filtered into that immediately. So instead of going through like Facebook Messenger and then having them email me and then finally putting their information in my CRM, I have them do it from the beginning. So when I get a Facebook message, I have it set up so they get an automatic reply telling them that if they want to book me, they have to fill out this form. And that form is what triggers my entire workflow within 17 hats. So I basically cut out all of the DMs, all of the emails, all of the information gathering, and I have them do that from the very, very start. So if you haven't listened to the 17 hats episode, go ahead and do that. And I would highly recommend that you start getting your customers to input their own information into your CRM from the very beginning. If you don't want to do anything that intense, I would also recommend that you put up some sort of auto messenger on Facebook and Instagram that directs people at least to your email. Again, you want to get your people off of social media and into some sort of system that you own. So if overnight someone hacks your profile and your Facebook and your Instagram presence is just gone and you can't get it back, you have all of your customer emails and you could email them all and just say, I'm starting a new account. If you want to follow, here's my new handle, or follow me here, and send them a link. Again, I use 17 hats to gather that information, but even there, like once or twice, I don't know, a quarter, I will do a big export of data, just like mostly emails and contact phone numbers and customer names. You can export that into one big, just like an Excel file, and save that. That way, like worst case scenario, I know that I have hundreds of people's information that I can do a big e-blast and let them know what's going on. Like, you're not going to see me on Instagram anymore. I got hacked. Here's how to contact me. You need some way for them to contact you and you to contact them. That leads into my next point, which is consider email marketing. So I know that for the last probably 5 to 7 years, it has been all about social media. And I love social media. Like, that's how I do most of my marketing. It's free, it's visual, I love it. But more and more, I have been getting really into email marketing because it's a way to retain your current clients. So I used to think like, it's spammy and like nobody is going to care about these newsletters. But, literally last night in bed, I ordered some, what are they called? They're like those nail decal things. I have not ordered those in 2.5 years. And I don't even know who the woman is that I ordered from. It was one of those things where like you join someone's party and then they hook you up with their person and then you order these glittery nail decals, whatever. Last night, after 2.5 years, I got an email. Something in the subject line made me open it. I looked through and I was like, these are kind of cool. I'm going to order them. They were like $11. That woman has no idea. She doesn't know who I am. She doesn't remember making a small sale to me 3 years ago at a party. But because I'm on her email list, I have been getting these little reminders of like, oh yeah, these things exist and one day I'll order them. So get yourself an email marketing list. I use MailChimp. It is free up to, I think, like 2,000 customer emails. So again, I will just take all of those information or all of those emails from 17 hats and I'll export them and then import them into MailChimp. And I only do e-blasts like maybe once a month, sometimes once every other month, but it's good to have access to people's emails. When I did adopt a grandparent, that is how I sold them. People were all about that. And then I was emailing back, like, here's our updated quantity and here's how many nursing homes we've filled. Like, that was really great to have contact with people via email. It really reaches a different demographic that people who aren't on social media, especially on Instagram more and more. My analytics have been really changing. I would say like a good, like 300 to 500 people are engaging with the content I post. And I have 27,000 followers. And we've already talked about what a garbage number that is and how I wouldn't recommend growing your followers the way that I did. But of the people that have followed me, people who have said, I want to see your content, like only a very small fraction of them are even seeing it. So unless I'm going to start posting every single day, multiple times, and really, really focusing on social media, the people who want to see my content still aren't seeing it. Versus email, when I send someone an email, I know they're getting it. I know they're clicking either open or delete, but at least they're seeing it. With social media, you have no control over what people even see. So you can post and post and post, and it's a bit of a mystery if your targeted audience is even seeing it because they want you to pay for ads. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Versus email, you don't have that hurdle. It's not a mystery. It's absolutely going to their inbox. It might be going to like their promotions folder, or they might just be deleting things, but at least you know it's going to your intended recipient. So start thinking about email marketing. Look into MailChimp. Think about like 3 or 4 upcoming things that would be relevant information to share with all of your customers. And to backtrack a little, if you have no way of emailing all of your customers, start thinking about that as well. Like, do you have to go back through old emails and start collecting email addresses? Do you need to start asking people for their email address up front if you are conducting all of your business through Instagram or Facebook? Like, emails are really, really important. So if you're not somehow gathering or collecting those, start thinking about how you might want to that doesn't feel spammy or weird. The other thing that I mentioned briefly is having your backup files. So again, this is like worst case scenario. Social media is gone for some reason. Maybe your business just, you don't have a platform anymore. If you're depending on sales, on bringing on in income to like pay your bills, to support your family, you should have your files backed up somewhere. So that's like, I would say like old invoices, definitely customer contact information. You want to have that somewhere other than the internet. Because even if it's not like the world's ending and the internet has crashed indefinitely, a more likely situation is that like whatever program you use, their server's down for like a couple hours. But if that's a couple hours that you're trying to work, that can really be a hassle. So I would recommend having somewhere like on a hard drive or in your Google cloud storage. I mean, even that technically could go down, but it's probably unlikely. Have your stuff in multiple places. Basically, I'm going to quote Lily. She messaged me and said, don't have all of your eggs in one basket. I think I already said that, but this is another example of that. If all of your information is in one place and then that place disappears, you're screwed. So think about just kind of how you can get that really important customer information organized so that it's easy to find in case of an emergency. It'll help you out. I know people that still print hard copies of stuff, and while part of me is like, all the trees, the other part of me is like, I get it. That's kind of safe because like you're never going to, lose access to a piece of paper that's in a file that you know how to find. So, old school works too. If you have old tickets that you write out phone orders, maybe hang on to those for a little bit, or at least take the data off of that, like emails and phone numbers and customer names, and store that somewhere. Start building yourself a little database with all of your information so that in case of an emergency, your business can still go on. All right, that was a lot of information. The big takeaways are if you are depending solely on Instagram and Facebook to run your business, you have to figure out a way for that not to be the case. My recommendation would be to have a website. They don't have to be fancy. I have a resource for you in the show notes if you are in need of a website. Otherwise, just start thinking about your process, especially if yesterday you were just like completely out of commission. If you made no sales yesterday because Instagram and Facebook were down, this episode is mostly for you. For everybody else, I'm sure there were like a couple little things you could take from it. And some of these things, it's not like I'm doing all of this every day. These are good reminders for myself too, that we can't be so dependent on Instagram and Facebook because at the end of the day, they don't care about us. They don't need us. So we need to make sure that we are putting processes and backup plans of our backup plans in place so that we ultimately are in control of our own income, our own sales, and our own customer contact. All right, I hope that helped, and I will see you next week. I have a really fun episode that was like a crowdsourced episode about the favorite gadgets that go in your toolkit. So next week is going to be a little bit different and really, really fun. So I will see you then. That wraps up this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I tried to keep it bright and light in a few minutes or less. I'll talk to you next time. For more information about any of the resources or courses mentioned in today's show, please head to thebrightballoon.com or check the show notes wherever you're listening.